Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fancy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mega31. Before we get started, I just want to invite you to go to the description of the video and click the link and go to FSiDFS.com. We have pro football returning soon. We're in the preseason. Started last Thursday with the Hall of Fame game, but week one starts this Thursday. Doing it for free with Coach Rod. If you look at our Twitter page, had some amazing wins last year. I'll be helping out with some others in there. So preseason is going to be free. And then there's a huge discount on our season-long package. So Xfinity, Michigan, Cabo Wabo, 250, 125 laps. So definitely had practice and qualifying. Cream has definitely risen to the top here. There's a lot of really good cars up top, a lot of really bad cars down below. Let's go through the field and talk it out and see who potentially could be the ones to play today. So we're going to start with Josh Berry, and this is a very, very low tire wear track too, so that's shouldn't come into play much. Josh Berry looked really good, and they said that even though the track isn't completely similar, that Pocono is a good gauge for this, and even though he didn't win it, Pocono, he had a very strong car in practice and qualifying. Here, he was 8th fastest in practice, but it's very happy with the car, got the pole. The junior cars looked very strong here. They did last year also. They finished second and third, in Grayson and Allgaier had second, and Grayson had third. And Brandon Jones, even though he was driving for Gibbs, had fourth, and Ty Gibbs ended up winning that. So the JR Sports qualifying in the top three. Practice-wise, other than Mayer, looked pretty good too. So I think both these guys starting up top are great cash options. It probably is dangerous to play both of them in the same lineup in a cash. But Barry's the one I'm going to pick. He wants to get out there. He wants to win this race. And but Allgaier's looked good recently. He was the fastest in practice. He's number one overall in composite speed for similar tracks, which would be Michigan last year, Kansas, and Auto Club this year. So definitely another one to keep in consideration. Austin Hill is also up there again. He finished 5th last year, so definitely is good. So again, there's just so many good choices up here. So I think the favorite two would be Barry and Allgaier. Hill definitely isn't playing GPP. Mayer, after getting his first win and getting some confidence there, didn't look as good in practice. So his overall numbers aren't as good here, but still, like Auto Club, still top 15, but I don't know if he can keep up in the top 5. But again, this team has been doing well, so that bodes well for him. Probably hurts the GPP, just finds trouble. Like, he always qualifies well and stuff, but it just ends up getting into somebody in the race, and usually it's not his fault. It just has very, very bad luck, it seems. So not super interesting there. Chandler Smith, I think, is decent also, although practice wasn't the greatest here. Auto Club, he was running in the top 7 on average, so I think another one to consider. Carson Hocevar, definitely first guy in my GPP lineup. This kid is talented in the truck series. He went up and ran a cup race during an injury or sickness or something, and did well there in this one race, and he's looked good in Xfinity. I know this is a Spire car, but I think it has some backing from another team, either Childress or JR. I think it's JR Motorsports. I think he's Junior's kind of mentoring Hocevar here. And I didn't see an announcement yet for who's going to replace Barry when he goes to Cup next year, but Hocevar would definitely be a good decision there. So I don't think he's a cash play here, but I think he's definitely someone in GPP that I'm very interested in. Ty Gibbs, I think, will be super popular and very chalky after winning last year. He did look good in practice here and everything. So, and he's in the All-Star Gibbs car here, so it's a decent car. Probably hard to get he and Barry in the same lineup, but there's a lot of value, and I've tried to keep my prime plays to value plays so you can try to do this. So if you don't want to go Barry Allgaier, which I said could be dangerous. I think, this might be a better cash pairing is like Gibbs and Barry there, or Sammy Smith. If you want to save some money, he was a little bit faster than Gibbs. He has a little bit better place differential, and he's saving you $1,500. So I think both those would be very popular plays. You probably get all three of them in the lineup. If you want to do that, like I said, you want to start with Barry Algar, whichever one you think is going to be good there, in cash, and then probably fill in with like Gibbs or Smith. A lot of people use Nemechek also as another one to try to, if you're doing like a 3 king lineup there, to try to get like 3 of the 10K guys in, because again, there's some value in here that could probably make that work. But Nemechek, to me, just like he crashed again last week. It's just, and he wasn't any, he just took the turn and he went over like one of the rumble strips or something and just like completely submarined the car and smashed it. So he just has bad luck there. Ross Chastain, I think, is another interesting one here too. Is kind of having, he has one win in Cup, but he's just not had the year that we expected him to have after like his amazing video game move, making it through the playoffs last year into I believe he was in the finals in Cup. So it's a good chance for him to come down. He's in the number 10 car. He had been running in other cars here, and he's running the truck series, but it wasn't good equipment. So this is really good equipment for him to be in here. So definitely, even though he was only 12th in practice, and when he ran in Auto Club here, was like 24th again. I think it was the equipment. It's definitely a decent shot for him. I think he's a sleeper here. Brett Moffitt, like 4th in practice. Like Brett Moffitt's looked decent recently. He's a little bit outside of the playoff window here, so I think he's definitely one that could potentially get up there and into the playoffs. But I think he can hold his position here. I think he's okay for GPP from what I've seen. I think he can get a top 15 finish, but there's just so many good cars here. If you start in the 20s, I'd lock button him, but I just can't do it here. Cole Custer, I think, again, is another one of these 10K guys with a lot of place differential. Didn't qualify as well as he did in practice, but looks good, ran here decent in Cup Series, so definitely it has the best place differential out of all the 10K drivers. So there's some tough decisions here. I think, again, you want to start with Barry Algar at top and then fill in with Gibbs, Sammy Smith. If you trust Nemechek, take him. Chastain is a dark horse, or Custer. I think you're going to want to have 2 to 3 of these guys, so that's why the value is going to be super important. Brandon Jones, I think, is an intriguing GPP play, and I think I'll throw him in with Hocevar because he did finish 4th here last year. He's in the Junior Motorsports car. He, again, just seems to get in trouble. Sheldon Creed, these guys are like on different teams. They run Chevys, but they're the same story. They're aggressive drivers. They do well on tracks. They do well. And if they do well, they're going to, probably help be in the optimal lineup and help you take something down. But more often than not, their aggressiveness towards the end of the race is unnecessary, and they just get into trouble and end up wrecking. So they're almost identical in price. They're almost identical in starting position. They're almost identical in nature. It's like they're twins. So if they don't take each other out, maybe in a GPP, start your lineup with Jones and Creed and fill in the rest and see what happens there. Hemrick, he's much better in a 16th place car here. So 8,200 might be pricing in no man's land if you're trying to get all those 10K guys in. But if you want a more balanced lineup, I like Kean Klingerman here. I think these are definitely 2 good plays that could definitely move up, or at least hold their position and be able to pay off their price tags. Alfredo and Mosiak, I don't know where they're going to go. I think there's some cars behind them that can get ahead of them. So again, they're almost identical, and Alfredo's a better driver. Mosiak has a better car, if that's a deciding thing for you. But they both had practice in the 20s and qualified right around this spot. So again, I don't think I'm going to have any, but if one of them is the last man in, then so be it. Weatherman, though, I'm hoping I can find the $200 to $300 more dollars for him in cash, because I think he's in a GGM car, which decent. It was 11th in practice here. Didn't qualify as well, but I think he can definitely move up. And there's another, we're starting to get some good values here. The Siegs start here. They didn't get to practice much, so we really don't know a ton about the cars. So that's why their GPP kind of scary, because their hauler broke down. They only made it with like a couple minutes left in practice, so they're able to get a couple laps in there. But again, they qualified decently. I think they were happy with the car with the limited practice they got the run, but it didn't give them enough chance to thoroughly vet the car to see if there were any major other issues that could have popped up. So that's concerning a little bit to me. Jeb Burton, I think, is definitely a cash play here. A chance for him to move up. Parker Retzlaff, he has just been doing really well in his young season. He's run decent on super speedways, and this isn't a super speedway, but it's a faster, like, bigger track. So, and he didn't look horrible at Pocono, so I think he's definitely better in 24th place car. So I think I'm definitely going to use him as a prime play here to try to get some value. Kaz Growler is same thing also in Sam Hunt car. I think both these plays will be highly owned. If you don't trust Rexolath, then Growler can be the prime play here also for but it's trying to save you some money here. So for about 500 more, he works also if you can get to him. And like I said, if you don't trust the young Retzloff, but I think he'll have a solid day. I think both of them will. Smithley starting too far forward, he's a fade. Jeremy Clements, again, here's another one that you can throw in there in this range with Retzloff, Grala, and Clements. Just with Retzloff's practice speed and everything, that's why I gave him the prime play. But all these guys are kind of in the same range between Burton, Retzloff, Grala, and Clements, all starting around the same position. So mix and match them into your lineups, and that's definitely some value to help you try to get those 10K guys in. Joe Draft Jr. is always fave for me. I know the price tag's intriguing here, but again, I can't remember if he was one of the seed cars affected. I think he was at the track and was able to practice and was okay. But again, he's a human caution flag, and I just can't do it. He did decent last week, but I believe, but I just foresee him like getting into something near the wall or something and just causing chaos. So Josh Williams is my other prime play here. He's really good on tracks like this. So 31st in practice, I think it's 5,700. He definitely can move up into the top 25. And it's a track that suits his style. We saw him do well. Atlanta's not completely a comparable track with the way it is, but we saw him do well, and their auto club like 21st average running position. So I think he can pick up 5 place differential points and have a decent day in a 5,700. That's definitely going to smash that price tag if he's able to get into like the top 25. Parsons is a GPP here. The green light cars are kind of scary. Mason Maglio, I don't trust him as much as a fade. Dawson Cram is a decent driver in the truck series. Really haven't seen much here. Slow in practice. Sage Karam, he looked great last week and had a chance to win the race, and but that's a road course, and he's really good at that. And he's in the 66, which is probably the most sketchy car in Xfinity, quality-wise. So I'm out on that. Earnhardt, I think you can play in cash, and Ellis, these Alpha Prime cars are solid. Ellis actually signed a deal, I think, for 2 years to be a full-time driver. So they're throwing a lot of backing behind him. So I think both these guys you can play in cash. I think there's a chance for them to get at least 5 place differential points over Graf, over Maglio, over Cram, over Karam, and probably Smithley. And then Emmerling, I think he's going to back. I don't trust this program. One of the cars didn't qualify, and he barely did. Poole, I think, is another play here. Like, he looked great in practice. He was 21st. I don't think he's a top 20 car, but if you can get into the top 30 or top 25 at 5,500, and he's a decent driver. He drove Cup for a while. So, and this is a track where I think, Auto Club 25th. So that's 12 place differential points if he gets up to 25th. So I toyed with him being the prime play, but I really like Retzloff and Williams better. But if you can't afford Retzloff, if you're going for that 3 king lineup, then Poole could definitely be the prime play. You're going to want to try to hammer the Earnhardt, Ellis, Poole, Williams, and those 3 drivers should get you the 10K guys that you want. So, like I said, you really want to start up with Barry. I think he had it figured out. It's carryover for Pocono, and I think he's definitely go out there, lead laps, and do well and be able to keep the speed. Then the second dominator wave might come from Gibbs, Sammy Smith, Ross Chastain, Johan Hunter, Nemechek, Cole Custer, but I wouldn't count out guys like Allgaier, Hill, who also have run well here in the past. And then some of my sleepers, like I said, Sheldon Creed and Jones, and Carson Hocevar in GPP. So that's what I got for you. If you have any questions, put them in the chat below. Hit me up at MegaRotor31 on Twitter, or X, or whatever we're calling it nowadays. If these videos help you, I appreciate your viewership. That's helping us back just by watching them. But if you want to go to the extra step, click the like button. Helps to get out to there to more people. Subscribe to our channel so you know the videos are coming out. Just if you've just found us, then you'll know we do PGA, we do MLB. I don't know if we're going to do NFL, but we'll see if we can try to find time for that. And then of course we cover NASCAR in Xfinity, Truck, and Cup. And I appreciate you watching. So share with your friends. That's another way to help us out. So and for more information on FSi DFS, like I said, free preseason football you can sign up for, and some very good values. And even our NASCAR package is super cheap here. It's like $5 a week, I think $15 a month. So not expensive at all to get into our Discord and get like any updates, or any time that we can't get a video out if practice and qualifying are too close together. So benefits of that. So appreciate you watching. I'm MegaRotor31. Good luck in your contest. I'll see you later today or tomorrow morning for the Cup video, and hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you next